Hi everyone, I'm going to continue this series of the Yalkut Yosef. At the moment, we're already done about 36 installments, and we're going to talk about two small topics today to continue this series. We're going to talk about Kiddush inside the synagogue, which many would do, and also with regards to the topic of the Mishnah of the Madlikin, which we respectively say on Shabbat itself. So friends, just a quick introduction. We know in the Gemara time period, it was common for wayfarers to spend Shabbat sleeping and eating their meals in the rooms adjacent to the synagogue. So it was an important imperative that Kiddush would be said over. So just a couple of short halachot before we go to the next section. Kiddush bebeit HaKnesset. Ein lekadesh bazman hazeh bebeit HaKnesset. Shaharei kiyom ein ochlim ve'ein shotim sham. Nowadays, it's not the proper custom to do a kiddush inside Beit Knesset because we don't eat and drink over there. Naturally, we come there to pray in the modern day. The main place where we do the kiddush is in a place where we are eating, usually inside the house as we're in, or the guest house, or the host house. This is the custom in the majority of places. Halacha bet at the moment. Continuing on this tangent. Imekol makom, haminhag shnahagu bekama batei knesset lekadesh ala kos b'le'el Shabbat. Yisodoto ba'arei kodesh ve'ein levatlo sheyesh lahem al ma sheyismachu. Ba'adraba b'zman hazeh sherabim ata amei ha'aretz she'einu makdishim klal bebeitam. טוב להנהיג במקומות כאלה לקדש בית כנסת ולהוציאה מידי חובת קידוש מן התורה אף על פי שאינו במקום סעודה. Okay, so nevertheless, there's a minhag, this custom in many of the synagogues over here to do kiddush on a cup on Shabbat evening. Naturally, sorry about the noise, just printers in the background. There's some foundation with regards to this. Those communities should not be cancelling this custom. There is what to rely upon on this. And nowadays, there's many, unfortunately, secular Jews out there that might not do Kiddush in the house, and they might attend on the Friday evening the synagogue prayers. Now, all the more so, they should do it inside the synagogue so that the people will hear this and be fulfill the obligation within regards to the Kiddush itself. Even though that it's not going to be the place where the people are eating, still they will at least fulfill their obligation within regards to Kiddush. It's important that a Chazan should drink that measurement of a revi'it within regards to the Kiddush, so that also will say the bracha achrona of this. Or it's important over here that a child will also taste at least the kiddush over here. It's going to be very, very important. He may give a goblet to a child who is old enough to be educated in the mitzvah of kiddush, age 6 naturally, and the child should taste the wine also. Okay, so we're talking now, going to the Mishnah of Madlikin, friends, over here. It's second parak of the Mishnayot of Shabbat is Madlikin, and we say that on the Friday nights over here. Halachot pertaining also, or the final moments before Shabbat begins, it relates over very much so. So it's 4 short halachot over here about the Friday evening service of the Mishnah of Madlikin over here. Lomar b'mei Madlikin. Aleph, nohagim lomar perek b'mei Madlikin. Uminhagenu la'amru kodem tfilat arvet. We are accustomed to say this chapter of b'mei Madlikin, second chapter in Masachet Shabbat and Mishnayot, and we say that before the Arvit Tfilah on Shabbat. Yom Tov and Hanukkah, what is the din over here within regards to that? Ein omrim b'mei madlikin. B'yom Tov sharei mutar ladlik b'yom Tov b'otam shmanim b'tilot שאסרו חכמים להדליק בהם נר של שבת. וכן ביום טוב שחל בשבת, וכן בשבת חול המועד, בשבת של חנוכה, וביום הכיפורים שחל בשבת. אלה אומרים אמר רבי אלעזר, אמר רבי חנין תלמידי חכמים, etc. וכן בשבת שחל אחר יום טוב, אין אומרים בבן מדליקים. So, what's going on over here on Yom Tov, Hanukkah and other days? Okay. We don't recite the chapter on Yom Tov evening, since one may kindle lights on Yom Tov using those types of wicks and oils that are forbidden for use for Shabbat lights, so we don't say it on those days. Likewise, we do not recite it when Yom Tov coincides with Shabbat. On Shabbat of Chol HaMoed, Shabbat of Chanukah, and Yom Kippur coincides with Shabbat. In all these cases, we recite the final passage, naturally, of Amar Rabbi Elazar, Amar Rabbi Chanina Tamdei Chachamim. When Yom Tov occurs on Friday, the passage of B'mei Madlikin is not recited at all. Why is this? The reason for this: the Mishnah commands us to tell our household to separate the Maasrot, and this cannot be performed on Yom Tov. When Yom Tov coincides with Shabbat, we also do not recite this chapter, so that it will be a blanket rule. See, we have to look at the Bet Yosef, another source, second edition of the Yalkut Yosef says, although some poskim rule that in this case we should recite it, but that is not accepted custom as pointed out in the Tiv Am over here. So now we are making progress at the moment. We're talking about in a mourner's house at the moment. Halacha Gimel. Kesher mitpalelim b'leil Shabbat b'beit ha'ebel b'toch shiv'a yemei avelut lechatchila ein lankig lomar sham b'mei Madlikin אלה שקבע נהגו לומר במי מדליקין בערב שבת בבית האבל ויש ליישב המנהג ואם מתפללים בבית האבל אחר 7 ימי אבלות צריך לומר שם במי מדליקין. So say if a group of people pray together in a mourner's house during the first week of the morning and they remain in that house for Kabbalat Shabbat and Arvit, it is best that they not recite the chapter of Bnei Madlikin over here. The common practice, however, is to recite it even in a mourner's house, and there is a basis to justify that specific practice. The above applies only during the first week of mourning. If they gather to pray in the mourner's house after his first week of mourning, they should definitely recite the chapter of Bnei Madlikin over there. Okay. Halakha Dalet over here. Shir Hashirim we're talking about. Very interesting. Yesh noagim likro b'kol erev Shabbat Shir Hashirim b'ni'ima u'minhag chasidei Beit El likroto bein mincha la'arvit achar kabbalat Shabbat. Okay, there's customary, which my synagogue, the one I daven pray in, usually on erev Shabbat, to say Shir Hashirim over here every Friday evening, and the Kabbalists also in the famous Yeshivat Beit El recited this between the mincha and arvit. Tefillah after Kabbalat Shabbat is usually the practice. There are those who have the practice to say this before the mincha tefillah. If we're worried it's a press time, you say Shir Hashirim, there's no time to do mincha, or you're not going to do it in the Zman, then do it after Kabbalat Shabbat. Mikol makom, im rab beit knesset doresh lifnei hakahal b'leil Shabbat, ויש טורח ציבור גם דרשות הרב וגם בקריאת שיר השם יש להעדיף את דרשות הרב. What if it's the case where the rabbi wants to say a sermon on the Friday evening to give physics to the people, and also the people want to say Shir Hashem, they want to do both, but there's a worry that it's going to be too much on the congregation to do both these things, then better that the rabbi, according to this, the second edition, would actually say something to give mitchazek, to give strength to the congregations. Okay. על פני אמירת שיר השירים ופרט שלו בכל המקומות נהגו לומר שיר השירים ומיהו יש לעשות הכל בלי מחלוקת ומצה מריבה. Some congregations do not say shir hashirim, so it's preferable for a rab, but one thing is key over here, friends, that there should not be strife and an argument with regards to this, and an argument in the congregation with regards to what takes preference or what. It should be done in a peaceful and respectful manner also. And say if the rabbi wants to come in and give his drasha every week, we've got to make sure that cancelling the Shir Hashirim is not going to cause strife among the congregation also. So next up, we are going to continue the installments within regards to the Kiddush on Le'el Shabbat. Wishing you all a fantastic